What's good, everybody? This is Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with another video. And kind of like what EDP 445 does a lot, I'm going to take you through. I got my buddy Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone over here. Say what's up, Dallas.
What's up?
Yep, and me and him, we're going to go through week one, and we're going to actually be doing some game picks for you guys, just like EDP 445 does every week. So to start it off, obviously you got the week one game. Philly's going to be hanging their Super Bowl banner on Thursday night. It's going to be the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles. I just saw my boy Dallas at the gym, and Dallas, why don't you start off? Tell all the people, who do you think is going to win the kickoff game, and why?
I believe the Falcons will win the kickoff game because the Eagles will be suffering from a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. It doesn't look like Wentz is not going to be starting. It should be a close one. Could go either way. I think Atlanta gets revenge for the playoff loss, and they win a close one.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too, but we don't know which Nick Foles will show up, though. I mean, we did see them get shut out by the Browns in the preseason, though. And not that it means nothing because it was preseason, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons obviously still got Matt Ryan. They drafted Calvin Ridley. They drafted Calvin Ridley, and they got some good weapons on offense. So, and obviously still Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman running the ball. So shout out to David in Atlanta if you're watching this, and also shout out to Philly 500. I mean, like, so anything can go. I mean, now keep in mind, most of these picks won't be entirely accurate because anything can happen in the NFL, which is why they say any given Sunday. Okay. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you think wins that one? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say the Baltimore Ravens with this one because Flacco's starting, and I don't know how well Nathan Peterman is gonna fare starting for the Buffalo Bills.
I like the Ravens in this one. I think the Bills are gonna not be as good as they were last year. They lost Tyrod Taylor in the offseason.
They traded Tyrod to Cleveland.
Peterman in week one. I just don't think they continue the success they had last year, and I think they suffer a bit of a letdown here from last year.
Yeah.
After ending their long playoff drought.
Yep. Okay.
So, and I think the Ravens are a sleeper team in the AFC. I think they could get a wild card this year. There's some pressure on John Harbaugh because they've missed the playoffs the last 3 years. I think they sneak into the AFC as a wild card this year.
So you think Harbaugh's on the hot seat if they don't get in, but let's remind the Ravens did pick up Michael Crabtree, who you remember missed the fade pass when he was with the 49ers when they lost to the Ravens in Super Bowl 47. So be interested to see that Crabtree connection with Flacco, and let's see if Alex Collins, who you remember, who the Seahawks drafted, let's see if Alex Collins can continue his success running with the Baltimore Ravens, you know?
Yeah, I just think Buffalo's going to suffer a little bit of a letdown this year, and I think they're good. I don't think they're going to be, god awful. I just don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year, and I think the Ravens are good enough to get a wild card because they're not winning the division with Pittsburgh in it.
Yep.
I think they get to the playoffs this year as a wild card.
All right. Okay. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh wins this one, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see what Cleveland does with, obviously, they're starting Tyrod Taylor. They drafted Baker Mayfield, #1 overall, and they also acquired Jarvis Landry, and they got Demarius Randall from the Green Bay Packers for their defense. A lot of moves in Cleveland, but who knows if Cleveland is still going to Cleveland. But I'm going to say because of the history of it, I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins this one.
I would have to go with Pittsburgh too. A lot of new faces on Cleveland, a rookie quarterback.
Well, Tyrod's starting. Tyrod Taylor's starting for Tyrod Taylor's
starting, then it's hard to pick against Pittsburgh. I know it's on the road, but Cleveland, there's a lot of question marks. a lot of new players. I do expect them to improve this year, but I can only see Cleveland winning maybe 4 or 5 games at the most.
All right.
And I think that Cleveland did play them tough last year in Week 1, but you have to go with Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then obviously their closest game was that one against Tennessee where it was all field goals, but they ended up losing to Tennessee at the end, going 0-16 ultimately at the end, even with Pittsburgh's third stringers out there when they lost to Pittsburgh to go 0-16. But other than that, next up we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Indianapolis Colts. This one, I don't know. Andy Dalton looks like John Ross is ready this year, and he still got A.J. Green. Who knows how Andrew Luck is going to fare with this one? Does Luck still throw interceptions, or does he get back into a groove and maybe pull off an upset over the Bengals? I don't know, but for me, I'm going to say Cincinnati wins this one.
Yeah, I'm going to say Cincinnati wins it too. They're coming off of, I believe, another disappointing year. I believe it's 2 years in a row that they haven't made the playoffs, because they made the playoffs, I believe, in 2015, and they had the home game against Pittsburgh in the wild card round, and the debacle at the end with the penalties on Pac-Man Jones and Vontez Perfect. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a big year for Cincinnati. It's a prove-it year. A lot of people are, getting frustrated with
Marvin Lewis
and his playoff record, which is not great, as we all know.
Exactly. Marvin Lewis does not have the best playoff record. He gets them in every year, but yet he can't finish the job.
Yeah, and I believe they haven't made it since 2015.
Yeah, exactly. But Andy Dalton got praised from the Bills fans for getting the Bills into the playoffs last year by beating a certain team. What team did the Bengals beat that got the Bills into the playoffs?
Baltimore.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. But yeah, Cincinnati, I got Cincinnati over Indianapolis. Next up, we got the Titans at the Dolphins, and obviously Marcus Mariota and Eric Decker retired, and that too, even though he got traded to New England, but then Decker ended up retiring. Lots of other new things going on with the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off of that. They lost in the divisional round to the New England Patriots after pulling that surprising upset at Kansas City in the wild card. And Miami, they got Tannehill back, but who knows how well Tannehill's going to fare this season. Though the Dolphins did acquire Frank Gore this offseason, so this might be one of my toss-up games. I don't know. What do you think? I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna pick Tennessee on this one. With the Titans, I'm gonna pick Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Tennessee again. I'm gonna pick Tennessee in this one. I just think they're an overall better team than Miami. Tennessee did have that shocking comeback win in the wild card round against Kansas City last year, and I saw a lot from Tennessee that I like, including, then they did beat us in they did beat the Seahawks in week 3.
They did.
And I think maybe there could be...
But DeMarco Murray retired, though, so that's another change.
That's a big loss, but Mariota is the better quarterback, and didn't Tannehill miss most of the year last year?
Tannehill tore his ACL.
So he was gone the entire year?
Yeah. Because they had to have because they signed Jay Cutler, remember?
Oh, yeah. And Miami was coming off of a disappointing season.
They did upset the Falcons last year.
They went to the playoffs as a wild card.
Miami did upset the Falcons with Jay Cutler last year. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a big win for them.
You were at my house watching Red Zone when that happened, remember?
Yeah, I have to go with Tennessee. I think they could get into the playoffs as a wild card in the AFC again. That's a team that's, I believe, on the rise.
Yeah, me too. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings. We know the 49ers got Richard Sherman, our former guy from the Seahawks, who helped, win us the Super Bowl 48, and along with Malcolm Smith and, of course, Cassius Marsh I mean, Cassius Marsh was never on that team. We drafted him a year later, but Cassius Marsh, who was drafted by us, who we traded to New England, and then he went up to San Francisco. So, and then also Jerick McKinnon tore his ACL. The former Minnesota Vikings running back is out for the year, and they did sign Alfred Morris and a bunch of other stuff. And who knows how we know Jimmy Garoppolo went on that hot streak last year near the end of the season, and Minnesota Vikings, they obviously made the big headline by signing Kirk Cousins, and they got a pretty good defense. You know, Barr was obviously the one that knocked Aaron Rodgers out for most of the year last year. So I think Minnesota, their defense can play that high level of football again. And let's see how their offense does with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, Latavius Murray, and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook for their running back. Let's see if Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray will still be a good 1-2 punch for the Vikings. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a good toss up one. But I'm gonna have to for this one. I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings because I think their defense can let's see. It'll be interesting to see what their defense does against Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I have to take Minnesota in this one. Minnesota looks like I want to say they improved at the quarterback position in the offseason. I mean, Case Keenum did take them to the NFC Championship last year. Now, granted, they needed the miracle touchdown in the divisional round against the Saints, and their defense.
Yep.
It's hard. They have a top 10 defense, and I think Minnesota could be a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. Now it's going to be tough for them to win the NFC North with Aaron Rodgers being back,
and with Rodgers having Jimmy Graham.
A wild card spot in the NFC, and I have Minnesota beating us in December at home.
Yeah, probably true with Minnesota. They could beat us at home. Obviously, I agree.
Minnesota's a team that I think is loaded on both sides of the ball.
And I think they're going to use that NFC Championship blowout against Philly as the fire to this season, maybe. Who knows?
And San Francisco, I just maybe feel like they're a year or two away. I think they're maybe a 500 team at most. I'm going to need to see a few games, but I'm just not sold on San Francisco yet. I think maybe they're a year or two away.
Yeah. Up next, we got I mean, let's just get ours out of the way. We're going to go ahead and do our Seattle Seahawks at the Denver Broncos. And we were kind of talking about this back at the gym. I mean, obviously, it's going to be, we got to see how our defense will fare against, that Denver offense, because we know Denver has Demaryius Thomas. And speaking of which, Earl Thomas was back in Seattle and I don't think he's going to end the holdout, but I think one of the things why he came back to Seattle is because his daughter's starting school, and he wasn't missing that for the world. So, obviously, but for this game coming up, depending on what our offense does, because remember, we're going up against Von Miller and Bradley Chubb on that Denver defense, and our first-string offense did not look bad in the preseason for our first string. Like, we were running the ball pretty good against that Minnesota defense, too, with Carson. See how Carson pans out with also Rashad Penny, but this one kind of the toss-up one, and I kind of think I'm not sold on Case Keenum being the savior to Denver, just like he kind of like he almost was with Minnesota. I don't see Keenum as the savior in Denver, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that the Seahawks, if they play right, I think the Seahawks can pull off this win at Denver.
Yeah, I like Seattle in this game as well. I know it's in Denver. Denver's coming off a very disappointing season, a 5-11 season last year, where they had so many troubles at quarterback, and I believe his second-year head coach.
Yeah, Vance McDonald.
Vance Joseph.
Oh yeah, Vance Joseph. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Seattle. By maybe 7 to 10 points. I know they've struggled in road openers under Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
This is a very winnable game. Doesn't mean they'll win for sure. But I know we've had a lot of changes in the offseason, but this is a game I think the Seahawks should win.
Yeah, but
Denver is not a very good team.
And plus, we've been owning Denver since the Super Bowl. In regular season.
The last time I believe we played Denver in Denver was probably 2011.
Yeah.
Regular season.
I don't know if we won or lost that game, but all I know is that The only time we played Denver in the regular season was after we crapped on them in obviously Super Bowl 48, and we played them against Peyton Manning and took it to overtime with us getting the ball first and Marshawn scoring the game-winning touchdown in overtime in 2014. But other than that,
I'll take the Seahawks in this one.
yeah, I'm gonna pick the Seahawks too. I think we can pull off one in Denver. But I'm not sold on Keenum being the saver. I think, out of all honesty, I think this dude played better than Keenum in the preseason. I think Chad Kelly played a hell of a lot better than Case Keenum.
Yeah, Denver looks like they could be in for a not such a very good year again.
Especially with the Chargers and the Raiders coming up, and who knows what's going to happen with Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they're not Denver's not a team I'm sold on this year.
No, me neither.
Doesn't mean we'll win for sure, but this is a very winnable game. It's not like last year when we had to go to Green Bay in Week 1.
Exactly, which I was in
Lambeau.
Lambeau.
Playoff team from last year that I think is a game that honestly the Seahawks should win.
Yeah.
All right. It surprises me that Denver is actually a favorite in this one.
Yeah. But that's because of all the changes we've done. But other than that, let's get back to where we originally were after the Frisco, Minnesota game. Up next is the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. Deshaun Watson coming back for his second year. This one, obviously, Tom Brady's not going to have Julian Edelman for the first 4 games because Edelman's serving that PED 4-game suspension. He just got Amara Darboh, our former Seahawk. They signed some guys. And New England got Cordero Patterson this offseason. Obviously, they're still going to have Rob Gronkowski. But Houston got their top. It's going to have their front line back now with having J.J. Watt back and Whitney Merciless. And obviously you still got to face Jadeveon Clowney. But with New England, I mean, you can't really sleep on Tom Brady. I mean, and who knows? Deshaun Watson almost pulled it off last year. But I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots in this one, though. You can't sleep on Tom Brady.
Yeah, this is might be one of the better games.
I would love to see Watson pull it off, though.
Of Week 1, Houston's a team that's getting Watt and Watson back and Merciless, and I believe Houston will. I think they're going to win the AFC South, but like you said, it's in New England. I know New England doesn't have Amendola anymore.
No more Amendola.
Cooks is in LA with the Rams. Edelman is serving the suspension, but it's a toss-up game for me. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But I like Brady at home. And again, I wanted to pick Houston the upset. I just don't see it happening.
You know what? I hope Houston can pull an upset. I would love to see Watson go into New England and beat them. I mean, I know obviously we made the dumbass mistake of not running on the 1-yard line of Super Bowl 49, which I obviously still hating back on that. But when I remember the last time we played New England, I was surprised that our Seahawks went in and beat them in Foxborough the last time we played them. If you remember that one in 2016, that was a hell of a game too, which we stopped New England at the 1-yard line in that game.
Yeah, I have to go with.
I gotta go.
I gotta pick against them at home.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against them, so I'm gonna go with the Patriots and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick because you're right. It is hard to definitely go against them at home at their home area in Gillette. So got the Patriots beating the Texans in Week 1. Up next, we got this one's obvious. New Orleans beating Tampa Bay Week 1. That's obvious.
Yeah, I'll have to go with New Orleans. I really like New Orleans in a I believe what is going to be a good NFC this year, and then obviously the Winston suspension for 3 games.
And Fitzpatrick starting for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, it's a division. And it's on is it in New Orleans?
It's in New Orleans, so Drew Brees has the advantage.
Yeah, I really think. I mean, and they were so close. They were, a miracle play away from going to the NFC Championship. I really like New Orleans possibly getting to the Super Bowl this year, maybe the NFC Championship. Yeah, and Tampa Bay seems like a troubled team. They were supposed to be a sleeper team last year, and they disappointed. And I don't know how many years has Dirk Cutter been there.
I don't know. I mean, yours would be Sean Payton.
No, Dirk Cutter for the Buccaneers.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But other than that,
he could be a coach that is on the hot seat because that Tampa Bay team does have a lot of talent on offense and some players on defense.
Gerald McCoy is their
talent.
Yeah, they got Gerald McCoy on their defense at Tampa, but I'm picking the Saints.
Yeah, I'm liking New Orleans to win 11 or 12 games this year.
All right. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Giants. Jalen Ramsey versus Odell Beckham Jr. and the rookie regular season debut of Saquon Barkley, the number 2 pick of the NFL draft. I mean, Barkley was showing some major flashes in the preseason, but with this one, I mean, obviously you got Saxonville, you got Calais Campbell, and you got Calais Campbell's on that defense, who basically they named the mayor of Saxonville, and that Jacksonville Jaguars front defensive line is deadly too. I mean, obviously they failed to get it done against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, which, I mean, they've been on the doorstep, but Jacksonville, they've gone on the doorstep 3 times. The first time, obviously, in 1996 when they lost to New England and Drew Bledsoe, when they went on to lose to when the Patriots went on to lose to Green Bay in that Super Bowl, and then they got on the doorstep against the Tennessee Titans and Steve McNair ran all over them, and then last year against Tom Brady. They've been known for getting on the doorstep, but can never get in the door. But maybe that could change this year. Jacksonville, I kind of see them. They might be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, maybe. I don't know. But until that happens, and we know for sure, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one. I don't think the Giants can handle Jacksonville.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I like Jacksonville in this game. Giants are coming off just a god-awful season where they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Their coach was fired toward the end of the year.
Beckham was hurt. Marshall was hurt.
I really don't know how much better they're going to be this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Sterling Shepard does for the receivers. And then Odell Beckham got paid. And then, remember, they had Brandon Marshall last year, but Marshall spent most of the year hurt. And now Marshall's obviously with the Seahawks. So, but yeah, other than that, let's get on to the next one. But Dallas and me are going with Jacksonville Jaguars on this one. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers at the StubHub Center, Week 1. So Patrick Mahomes makes his regular season debut. Kareem Hunt was coming off of a magnificent rookie season last year at running back. And then they traded Alex Smith to the Washington Redskins, obviously, which signified that Mahomes is going to be the starting quarterback. So this one, but obviously the LA Chargers, they're going to have Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, and obviously, they still got former Seahawks and Super Bowl 48 champion Brandon Mebane. They drafted Derwin James in the draft, who I encountered in Vegas with Adam at Dre's nightclub. And who knows how the secondary is going to be. They lost Jason Verrett for the year with a torn Achilles. They lost Hunter Henry to a torn ACL. They just brought back Antonio Gates, their tight end. This one, who knows? If the Chargers really want to win the AFC West, they're going to have to at least dethrone. They're going to have to get past Kansas City. And it's going to be a toss-up between them and the Raiders for the AFC West. But in this game, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. They're a team that a lot of people like, including me. I believe they can win the AFC West this year.
Yeah.
And
hold on a second, Dallas.
Make a little bit of a run in the playoffs and possibly get to the AFC Championship. I wouldn't be surprised. I believe.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me give a shout out real quick.
Has one more playoff run left in him, and a lot of question marks at quarterback.
Yep.
With Mahomes. And I believe this is a big year for Andy Reid.
It is. But
this is a huge year for Andy Reid.
Hold on. Let me
talk about coaches being on the hot seat.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out really quick. Let me first, for this game, I know he's going to be. I mean, he's obviously. I don't know how many games he's going to make it to for his Chargers, but let me give a quick shout out to Derek Huerta. You may know him as the TD Diaries on YouTube, so go hit him up on his channel too, the TD Diaries. So hit him up on his channel. He just crossed 1,000 subscribers recently, so hit him up. I don't know how many games, but other than that, what you mentioned about Phillip Rivers, he has one more year to make.
And I believe they just missed out on the playoffs last year. It's a team that a lot of people like in the AFC.
They did. They just missed out on, I think it was the wild card or the AFC West.
Wild card. And Kansas City, with the new quarterback, no Smith. I mean, they did add Sammy Watkins, but just a question mark at quarterback. Can Mahomes be the franchise quarterback for Kansas City? And, two disappointing playoff defeats in a row for Kansas City. Pittsburgh a couple years ago and then blowing the 18-point halftime lead.
Against Tennessee.
He's another coach that I believe is on the hot seat this year.
Yeah, Kansas City could not seem to get it done at home in the playoffs in their recent history. But other than that, up next we got the Washington Redskins at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona, as we know, traded up to draft Josh Rosen. Sam Bradford is their starting quarterback, and David Johnson is running good. And we all know when Bradford is healthy, he's accurate. Washington Redskins, obviously they got Paul Richardson, and they traded for Alex Smith before that. They got Paul Richardson at receiver. Alex Smith's reunited with Vernon Davis, and he's playing under the Jay Gruden system. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But with this one, I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins in this one.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Washington Redskins in this one. A young quarterback. It's an unproven quarterback for the Cardinals, a new coach.
They still got Fitzgerald.
I just don't know if Arizona could have a very good year. And I believe the Seahawks finally maybe have a chance to actually sweep the Cardinals this year.
Hopefully, we've had that issue with them the past few years. We've beaten them there, they've beaten us here, and so hopefully we get that chance. But remember, the Cardinals do have David Johnson coming back this year too, and they still have Larry Fitzgerald, an obvious first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion too. And they got Chandler Jones. They got Chandler Jones on their defense, obviously.
I think Jay Gruden maybe could be on the hot seat. They had a mediocre year last year. I believe they were 7-9, and then the year before they were eliminated on the final day of the regular season by the Giants. Again, Jay Gruden he's only made the playoffs once in 4 years.
Yeah, but he lost to Green Bay in the wild card.
Could be on the hot seat.
Yeah, but Jay Gruden lost to Green Bay in the wild card that year to Aaron Rodgers. Before we obviously saw the Hail Mary game where you were at my house during that Cardinals-Packers divisional game, too.
Yeah, there's definitely some coaches this year, I believe, could be on the hot seat, and I believe Jay Gruden could be one of those.
All right, up next, we got the Cowboys at the Panthers, Dallas at Carolina. Dallas, obviously, Jason Witten retired, and then, of course, it'll be interesting to see what kind of year Dak and Zeke have. It's kind of an interesting year in Carolina. Carolina, I believe, is a playoff team this year, and not really too much to say. But I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with and it's in Carolina, or is it in Dallas?
Carolina. Make this one fast though.
I have to go with Carolina in this one. The Cowboys losing Dez Bryant and Jason Witten to retirement.
And Jason Witten's doing Monday Night Football now.
Again, another team that just could have a very disappointing year. They looked absolutely awful in the preseason, and you're right, Carolina was an 11-5 team last year, and they should be a playoff team again this year.
Yeah.
I think it could be a below 500 season for the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, just like it'll probably be for our Seahawks this year. All right, moving on, and then after this one's an obvious one too. This is the Sunday night game, the first Sunday night game. We got the Chicago Bears at Lambeau Field taking on the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to say, and we know the Bears recently made headlines by trading for Khalil Mack, which they traded a farm load to the Raiders for Khalil Mack. So Mitchell Trubisky's coming on to year number 2. Obviously, he's starting quarterback. Green Bay obviously had a big offseason. They drafted Josh Allen, they drafted Josh Jackson, that's what I meant to say. Josh Allen got drafted by Buffalo. Excuse me for that. But they drafted the cornerback that I wanted from Iowa, Josh Jackson. I really wanted him at cornerback to be the replacement. And they drafted Jaire Alexander for the secondary. Free agency, they acquired Jimmy Graham, and they also acquired Mercedes Lewis from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they also got Muhammad Wilkerson from the New York Jets. With this one, I'm gonna say the Green Bay Packers. You can't sleep on Aaron Rodgers especially when they're playing in Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I gotta go with Green Bay in this one. I like
Green Bay's
Bay a lot in this year.
Green Bay's actually my NFC representative for the Super Bowl this year, to be honest.
I believe they have a chance to get to Atlanta and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Them adding Jimmy Graham, I think that's going to be Aaron Rodgers' new favorite target.
It will be. Jimmy Graham, especially, we know from our experience of having Jimmy Graham in the red zone, Graham was a freaking weapon for us when we had him. I mean, I hated to see him go, but Darrell Bevell, glad he's gone from our offensive coordinator. He just never used Jimmy Graham right, and that's what pissed me off the most about it.
Yeah, we both are high on Green Bay. You believe they could represent, or they will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl with that. That's what really derailed their season last year is when Aaron Rodgers went down with the collarbone injury. I believe it was in like week 5. Again, I was also at your house for that one.
Yeah, but the question depends on can Aaron Rodgers stay healthy? We know he got the money, but can Rodgers stay healthy for the season?
And if they get home field, and if they get the number 2 seed in the NFC, because we don't know what Philadelphia is going to do this year.
Or the Los Angeles.
They're really hard to beat at Lambeau.
Yeah, all right. Now we got the doubleheaders for Monday Night Football. First off, we got the New York Jets at the Detroit Lions. We got New York Jets at Detroit Lions. Sam Darnold makes his debut. Shout out to Gangrene David over in Staten Island, New York, another YouTuber. So the Jets take on the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football at Detroit, and obviously Detroit has Matthew Stafford still, and they I don't know. There's not really a lot of changes, but this one to me, who knows? This might be a toss-up game. Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna say maybe I would love to see Sam Darnold pull the upset. I'm gonna go with the New York Jets.
Well, I'm gonna have to go with Detroit. You know, with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's still the best. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go with Detroit. Yeah, I would
have to go with Detroit. You know, again, another team that just missed the playoffs last year in the NFC. I believe Cincinnati knocked them out.
Yeah, sorry, Gangrene. I got you Detroit for this one.
In Detroit, you know, you have Matthew Stafford,
Golden Tate, Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones. You got who else do they have at Who else do they got on their Who do they got on their defense? I don't know. Any Detroit Lion fans out there that want to say anything that we should know about your team, put it in the comments below. I mean, and if you got any other fans of the other teams around, make sure.
The Jets are gonna be.
Yeah, make sure you also any other fans or obviously our fellow Seahawks subscribers, put your thoughts in the comments below, and also yeah. I mean, we're not quite done yet, too. We got one more game to think about, but other than that, we got Detroit over the New York Jets in this one. Last but not least, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Oakland Raiders. The return of John Gruden to the sideline as a coach for the Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr. Obviously, Rams had the biggest offseason acquiring Marcus Peters in a trade with Kansas City. They got Akeem Talib from the Broncos. Obviously, their biggest acquisition on defense in Ndamukong Suh. They signed Todd Gurley to a big deal, $60 million. They traded for a first-round pick for Brandon Cooks, which Brandon Cooks is obviously a receiver. They still got Cooper Kupp. They got Jared Goff, and they recently signed Aaron Donald to a big mega deal. So we don't know how much cap money they're going to have left. And I think they probably flushed most of the cap this offseason. They flushed most of it. I think they flushed a lot of their cap. So I know people have the Rams as the front runner for the NFC to be in the Super Bowl, but I'm still going to keep my front runner as the Green Bay Packers for the NFC representative for the Super Bowl this year. But this game, I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Rams also. Gruden hasn't coached in, a decade. Could be some question mark. A lot of the fans are questioning the moves that the Raiders have made. They did acquire Jordy Nelson in the offseason.
They did, yes.
And the Seahawks
and can Derek Carr stay healthy?
In London, that could be a tough game for the Seahawks, but I believe they can win that game in London.
And then, of course, Oakland traded Khalil Mack.
They did have a good offseason. They had a good offseason to again, the question mark is at quarterback. Can Jared Goff actually get them maybe a playoff win this year? Because I believe they will win the NFC West.
Obviously, they're winning the West. Obviously, that's for sure. I mean,
But can Jared Goff take that next step, and can the team take that next step and win a playoff game is the question.
Because they choked against Atlanta.
With the Raiders, you got to go with the Rams.
Yeah, and plus can Derek Carr stay healthy again? But we all know the Rams choked away that playoff game against Atlanta last year with Farrell Cooper lost them that game.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the Rams in this one.
Yeah, but remember, Farrell Cooper lost them that playoff game when they lost to Atlanta last year at the Coliseum. Hence, we gave them the nickname of the In-N-Out Rams.
So
But
that wraps up week one.
that wraps up week one. So our predictions were we had Atlanta over Philly, we had Baltimore over Buffalo, Pittsburgh over Cleveland, Cincy over Indy, Tennessee over Miami, Minnesota over Frisco, New England over Houston, Saints over Tampa Bay, Jags over the Giants, Chargers over the Chiefs, Redskins over the Cardinals, Panthers over the Cowboys, our Seahawks obviously over Denver, Green Bay over Chicago, Lions over the Jets, and Rams over the Raiders. And there you have it for our week one predictions. Sorry we took a little while because we just like to put out the certain details too with certain things that happened this offseason. So make sure y'all bang the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And I think I'll have my buddy Dallas Stewart come on here to do more game picks throughout the season and maybe throughout the times that I'm doing YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all for coming on. Dallas, thank you for coming on here too, man.
Yeah, no problem.
And remember, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. Go Hawks.